1999. The biting chill of winter and the ever-present specter of Y2K transformed an inconspicuous truck stop into ground zero for a paranormal face-off. The scene is set in a sleepy town, at a place known as Lisa's truck stop. Usually a symbol of passage, it suddenly transmutes into a pulsating core of distress. At first, frequent catalytic converter thefts, quickly blamed on the town's addicts, seemed like standard small-town mischief. However, as the days on the calendar flipped by, a deeply disturbing and significantly darker story began to emerge. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the truck stop took on a new life. Illuminated by the harsh glow of neon signs, the truckers' usual routine descended into a bizarre ballet of chaos and confusion. Bobby Darin's Splish Splash echoed eerily from the truck stop's radio, providing a peculiar soundtrack to this surreal spectacle. The truckers, once kings of the road, found themselves bumbling through tasks as mundane as washing their feet and dishes in the public restroom sinks, their gruff voices mixing with the splashing water and the tinny melody of the song. Their once sacred enclave, the truck stop restroom, was now a war zone of broken tiles and graffiti, a testament to their mindless destruction. Meanwhile, the mysterious strangers watched, their faces hidden in the shadows, their eyes gleaming with intrigue. Their skillful penmanship and literary knowledge seemed to cast a spell that left the truckers both awestruck and at odds. The truckers, once so sure of their domain, were left feeling like strangers in their own truck stop, their bewilderment mirrored in their aimless wanderings. New figures began to infiltrate the truck stop, seamlessly merging with the familiar faces. They possessed an extraordinary flair for penmanship and a depth of literary scholarship that left the truckers both astounded and wary. These unfamiliar individuals navigated the truck stop milieu with an ease that was in sharp contrast with the truckers' awkward efforts at makeshift dishwashing in public restrooms and their consistent vandalism. The truck stop swiftly plunged into disarray. Truckers without purpose, their satellite navigation systems being their sole compass. Among the pandemonium, a clandestine collective lingered in the shadows, quietly observing the truckers. Meet Junior, a Mexican man with a worn-out ball cap, who rode a rusted Huffy bike to work. He was a local legend, a daredevil with a penchant for popping wheelies on his way to the truck stop. However, one day, his audacious stunt went awry. A tumble, a crash, and Junior found himself with a broken bike and a bruised ego. The accident didn't just leave a scar on his knee, it changed him. As he spent his days limping around the truck stop, he began to notice something strange. His paycheck was missing. Weeks of hard work, but not a single dollar to show for it. The truck stop had always been a place of chaos and unpredictability, but this was different. He was being taken advantage of, or so he thought. As he watched the mysterious figures mingle amongst the truckers, a feeling of unease began to grow within him. He couldn't put his finger on it, but something wasn't right. He had a hunch that these strangers were more than just literary scholars. He was determined to uncover the truth. Junior, once a show-off on his bike, was now a man on a mission. He was ready to face whatever was coming his way. Little did he know, a showdown with the vampires was looming in the shadows. Junior was a man of keen observation. He began to notice the peculiar absence of his fellow workers. The truck stop, usually buzzing with the chatter of truckers and the clatter of dishes, was eerily quiet. His manager, a burly man with a gruff voice, who was always there come rain or shine, was nowhere to be seen. The silence was unsettling. The mysterious strangers with their cryptic demeanor seemed to be the only constant. Their presence, however, was far from comforting. They looked out of place like a black and white picture in a world of color. Unable to shake the feeling of unease, Junior found himself questioning every shadow, every whisper, every closed door. He was mystified by the sudden changes, the abrupt disappearances, the unsettling quiet. He couldn't put his finger on it, but he knew deep down something was amiss. The once familiar truck stop was now a labyrinth of mysteries. Junior, with his heart pounding in his chest, was determined to unravel the truth. Under the cloak of darkness, with the moon as his only guide, Junior embarked on a race against time. The truck stop, a beacon of light in the desolate night, beckoned him. It was 15 minutes to midnight when he arrived, the place deserted, save for a few dimly lit bulbs. The deafening silence hung heavy in the air, punctuated only by the eerie hum of the vending machines. Deciding to check the showers, he moved cautiously, his heart hammering against his ribs. The showers, usually filled with the sounds of water and laughter, were eerily quiet. Suddenly, a faint rustling sound echoed from one of the cubicles. Steeling his nerves, he pushed the door open, only to be met with a sight that would haunt his dreams forever. One of the strangers was there, hunched over a familiar figure, the life slowly draining from the trucker's eyes. The stranger's mouth was smeared with blood, his eyes glowing a sinister red. Junior, unable to comprehend the horrific tableau, fumbled in his pocket, pulling out a Snickers bar. "Hungry? Try a Snickers," he stammered, trying to make sense of the situation. The vampire merely snarled at him, a chilling sound that sent shivers down his spine. Still in shock, Junior muttered a shaky, "Sorry," before closing the door, his mind racing as he tried to piece together the horrifying truth. The truck stop was no longer a safe haven, but a den of monsters, and he was in the middle of it all. As Junior softly closed the creaking door, his eyes darted upwards to the ancient dusty clock ticking ominously on the wall. The minute hand jumped, and the clock struck midnight, the tolling bells echoing through the silence. Just as the last chime faded, the lights flickered and went out, plunging the truck stop into an abysmal darkness. Y2K, Junior whispered to himself, his voice trembling with fear. The prophesied cataclysm, the end of civilization as he knew it, was it coming true? A cold, biting wind whistled through the cracks in the building, and the distant snarls seemed closer, the shrieks of terror more pronounced. His heart pounded in his chest like a drum, adrenaline rushing through his veins. He could feel the icy dread creeping up his spine, his breath hitching in his throat. "Hungry? Try a Snickers," he muttered to himself, an attempt at humor to mask the terror gnawing at him. But the words sounded hollow and foreign in the enveloping darkness, a mere whisper against the menacing growls getting louder at the door. In the pitch black, he fumbled around, his hands scrambling to find anything that could be used as a weapon. His fingers brushed against a metal rod, cold and hard. Clutching it tightly, he braced himself, his breath shallow and rapid. His mind raced, thoughts whirling as he tried to figure out his next move. But one thing was clear. He had to fight. For himself, for the truckers, for the small town he called home. With newfound determination, he tightened his grip on the rod, ready to face whatever lurked in the darkness.